So, hi, Louis.
Hi. Hi.
Can you tell us how is work for Kingston? How is your day? What you do?
Well, this week we're here at CES, right, 2013, and it's fun. I'm the product manager for our SSD line, and I head up the product engineering group. It's a lot of fun. SSDs are very new. We've been doing SSDs for 4 years now. I think we launched our first SSD at CES 2009. So in 4 years, we've come a long way. I mean, we ship hundreds of thousands of drives a month now. And SSD technology has really kind of taken off, right? It's moved past the enthusiast, like you see all the HyperX demos and everything, but really more in the mainstream now. I mean, we're seeing SSDs now being used in typical home desktops and notebooks. It doesn't have to be about high performance computing, but that's really what it gives you, right? It reduces your boot times. The average computer with a hard drive probably takes a couple of minutes to boot, some longer. With an SSD, you can boot your system in less than 30 seconds now, and so it's not quite instant on, but it's very, very close, right?
Yeah, my MacBook takes 8 seconds to.
There you go.
With
right.
King sizes.
Exactly. And the great thing, I'm a Mac user also. The great thing about that is that you don't really have to turn your system off anymore, right? I mean, one of the things that, like when with sleep and hibernate, is that everything out of the drive would get flushed to RAM right at that point, right? You would suspend to RAM on the PC. And then once you open your system back up, everything out of RAM back to the hard drive, and then it boots, and it kind of slow. I don't turn my computer off anymore. I think you're going to see that with Ultrabook. It's a little bit more of a tablet kind of like feel, right? Where you never really turn it off anymore. Yeah. You just charge it when you need to. And I think the MacBook especially is very fast out of sleep, right? You're able to find
it's almost instantly.
Yeah, exactly, right. And so I know, it seems to be now in our time, no one wants to wait anymore, right? Yeah. Everything is on demand, right? When I hear a song that I like, I can go on my iPhone and download it and get it, like that, right? If there's a book I want to read, I can get it on my Kindle, right? I don't need to wait or do research, and I think it kind of fits, right? I think us as a society, we're used to that on-demand, instant on, I want it now, right? And I think that's what SSDs allow to happen, right? I mean, I think boot times, are great. It's an easy way to gauge performance of your computer, right? A computer that boots slowly, you say is slow, and a computer that boots quickly, you say is fast. And before, everyone you wanted a faster processor, right? Or you wanted to do different things. An SSD can take an older computer, something 3 or 4 years old, and really spruce up that performance, right? Yeah. I mean, you can get fast boot times out of a 3 or 4 year old laptop, and so it's been great. The upgrade market, if you look at our demos later on, you'll see we're an upgrade company, right? I mean, that's what we've done over the time. Our first products were a memory upgrade, right? You added memory to your system to make it faster, right? We had a processor upgrade years ago, believe it or not, called the turbo chip, where we took 386 computers and turned it into a 486, right? We were in that market. SSDs fit. It's in that same. The upgrade market is kind of our DNA, and SSDs do that, right? You can take what's old and slow and make it like new and fast.
So
right?
you're like the medicine of the
exactly. Yeah, kind of, exactly.
You can heal the system and make them.
Well, I think it's I'm a big fan of kind of reuse and recycle, right? And you can take existing technology and make that go faster. I think what we're saying to customers on the corporate side and at the consumer side is maybe you don't need to go out and spend $800-900, right, on the next fastest and greatest system. Even though that's great, maybe you just need to take what you have and make it go faster. And at the corporate level, I can tell you, it's been our biggest design win. Rather than a customer going out and buying the latest laptop, from HP or Lenovo or Dell, what we're saying is spend a couple $100 on an SSD, take what you have and make it go faster, right? And I think at the consumer side, it's the same argument.
Yeah, we used to say that once you go Mac, you never go back, but you can say that to SSDs,
Definitely,
right?
Yeah.
When you have an SSD and get used to use it, you never came back to the side of this.
Yeah. If I use someone's computer that has a hard drive, it absolutely drives me nuts.
Yeah. It's like it was a slow internet connection.
Yeah.
Right?
If you want to get a free SSD from me, just hand me your system that uses a hard drive because it will drive me crazy. And if I have an SSD, I mean, I just upgraded my father-in-law's computer because every time, I'm his tech support. Hey, there's a problem. I go over there and I'm just like, God, it's so slow. It would drive me nuts. I'm like, Dad, I'm getting you an SSD, right? So that's the key. So you can tell everyone, if you want a free SSD from me, come bring me your slow. If you make me use your slow computer, I will give you one, just to not have to deal with it. It's awful, yeah.
So they are becoming very popular.
Yes.
And the prices are going down.
Yeah.
And what do you expect for the future? That how many years the SSDs will be the main technology over hard drives?
I think we're just beginning. You know, I don't think hard disks are going anywhere. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you're talking about pennies per gigabyte, right, with a hard drive. And so I really think what you're going to see more, especially on the desktop, is this hybrid solution, right? SSD for your operating system, your applications, but keep your hard drive for movies, music.
For your pirate stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need speed there, right? What you need is just storage, right? We're seeing this at the corporate level, even on the server side. We're seeing customers putting SSDs in very strategic areas in their server for caching, you know, to basically use the most frequently used data and make that go fast. But when you're archiving your email, you're backing up, you're at home, do it on spinners. I mean, there's no reason to go SSD there. Not yet. At the SSD price, we're about $1 a gig now, is what the market's at, which is phenomenal. I mean, when I first started 4 years ago, we were at, God, $6-7 a gigabyte, right? Our original product was an 80 gig SSD that we sold for $500 or something like that. Right now, we're talking about our 120 gig V300. It's our new value line SSD. I think I see for sale most of the time for about $99, right? So that's nice. Yeah, at less than $1 a gigabyte, I think SSDs are going to continue to gain in popularity. From a performance side, I think the exciting thing is the PCIe interface, right? You're going to see that with the new Ultrabooks. We're seeing that on server already. SATA 6 is great. We're topped out at about 500 or 600 megabytes a second, though, right? Any SSD I make now that goes a little, I just gain small performance differences. When I can change to PCI Express, and we have some demos I'll show you, at that point I can get to 1,000 megabytes a second, 2,000 megabytes a second. That 8-second boot time can get even quicker, right, at that point, right? And I think that's what we're looking at. That's kind of the next step. I think SATA and 2.5-inch form factor was something that we could all get our heads around. We could understand it. It's a hard drive. It just has chips, right? I think what you're going to see is SSD move beyond that into different interfaces. mSATA, right? And again, I'll show you some of the demos. We've got mSATA, NGFF, next generation form factor. You know, when we can turn on PCI Express, and now it becomes a standard with Windows 8 and other operating systems, the sky's the limit. I mean, performance is going to triple and quadruple over what a current SSD can do now. So SSDs are already much faster than a hard drive. PCI Express SSDs are going to go a whole nother level above that.
Thanks very much.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, thanks.
Nice to meet you.